am the Word made flesh. I am the silence behind the sound. I am the stillness beneath all movement. I am love, you are love, we are one, only love is real. I see you, I hear you, I know you, I love because I am. I create with love, I dwell in the end, I live from the wish fulfilled. I choose my state, I speak only what I desire to live. I imagine, and it is so. I declare, and it becomes. I walk in victory. I surrender to love. I trust the unfolding. I release the past.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Brandon. Of course, I'm running behind a little bit today. I apologize for that. I had everything set up last night because I knew that I would be in a rush this morning. And thankfully, I had the foresight to do that. So I wasn't as late or behind as I could have been. But it is what it is, I suppose. Right now they are having a little chit chat with Joe Espada, Lauren Callender, who I call Gregory's Blonde. Astros are 5-6 this month. Not stellar. Need to improve that to a positive record. He says they want to improve their or rather build on their momentum from yesterday, is what he says. He wants them to relax and have fun today. Pass the baton is what he says. The Astros need to pass the baton at the plate. They are still warming up and getting ready. Let's see here. Okay, I think I've got everything worked out on the screen that I need to get worked out. Let me check in on the live chat here and see who's in. Hey Daryl, how's it going? Happy Sunday to you. From Japan. Go Astros indeed. I'm glad that you're feeling better today. Nice to see you. Hot and humid, sticky in Houston, I can imagine. I can tell that it's trying to get to fall around here. It's struggling. Summertime is trying to hang on. Fall is trying to come in. It's a little back and forth right now. Yeah, it would be nice if Cole were the 2025 savior, wouldn't it be, for the Astros? Can you imagine? That's right, Ron. Welcome in. Another great day to enjoy a game. Yesterday will definitely, it will be definitely hard to follow yesterday. You're right about that, Ken. It was a great day. Interestingly enough, Cole is batting ninth. Batting lineup for the Astros, Pena, followed by Alvarez. Alvarez is DHing today. Correa is batting third. Altuve is batting cleanup, and he is at second base today. Jesus Sanchez batting fifth. Walker batting sixth. Myers batting seventh in center field. Diaz is catching today, batting eighth. So we've got Myers between Walker and Diaz. Good job there, Espada. And then, of course, Cole batting ninth. Wouldn't that be really cool if Cole were batting ahead of Diaz? Do you know what? Do you know what Cole's stats are after his game yesterday? His batting average is 750, and his OPS is 2.250. That is God level right now. Obviously, it's just one game, but can you imagine if he held that all the way through the end of the year and into the playoffs? My gosh, that would be unbelievable. Yes, Richard, he is. He's batting ninth. Michael says our bullpen has gone from a strength to a liability, but we should have the offense to overcome. We just need Altuve to get hot and lead these guys. Yeah, we definitely need Altuve to get hot. Let me grab my hot water right quick. First pitch is coming up in just a few moments. All right. Astros are sporting the bright orange today. Braves are going with their City Connect uniforms. Very first pitch to Pena, and he swings and hits it into center field, flies out. One up and one down on one pitch. Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate. I don't quite understand why they only give one batter the opportunity to get on in front of Alvarez in the first inning. First pitch is in there for strike one. Yordan is licking his lips again. Here comes the pitch. Holy cow, two in a row, right down the middle. Strike two. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout for Yordan. He takes two and then swings at the third one and completely misses it. Yordan starts off This is what I said yesterday. To see Jordan start off with a strikeout would not bode well. And today he starts off with a 3-pitch strikeout. Looking, swinging. Carlos Correa comes to the plate. Let's see if he does something. Woo! 92 on the outside edge. Should have been a strike. Called a ball. First ball to the Astros. Here comes the next toss. Low and outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Kind of interesting. Gets the 2 quick outs. And he calls that one a strike, up and in. 2-1 is the count to Correa. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the first. Just getting started, really. And the Astros already getting shut down. Let's see if Correa can do something. Here comes a pitch. Grounds that one, foul down the third baseline. 2-2. Ken says, from what I'm reading, the Braves organization did not even try to get Cole's home run ball for him. It's disappointing. Wow. A lower outside corner. That should have been strike 3, but it was ball 3 instead. That was... And this umpire has given a couple to Correa. Opposite field ground ball and foul. Correa should have struck out already. Taking those pitches on the outside edge. But this umpire is calling a strange zone right now. Here comes the full count pitch. Up and in, fouled off. Count remains 3-2. Angel, man of culture, welcome in. Good to see you. The home of the faithful. The home of the brave. We have faith that they can win 2 in a row. Perhaps even a sweep. Low and outside, ball 4. It was a strange series of pitches there. Elder suddenly seems to have lost a little bit of control. But at the same time, he also had a couple on the edge that completely missed being called strikes, and they were strikes. Wow. The crowd didn't really boo Altuve when he came to the plate. Can you believe that? There were actually more cheers. I didn't hear any people booing him. Altuve with a half arse swing there for strike 1. No, I don't think they were disrespectful. They were mostly cheering. I seriously couldn't hear the boos. Gregory, that time I'm surprised. I guess Altuve has a lot of fans in the crowd. Outside, ball 1. I guess Altuve not only has fans here, but the crowd is not very full in the stands today. I don't think there are many people in the park. That's high. 2-1. Gerald says, wouldn't be surprised if we see more bunts today. Moving runners over. I'd be surprised if we see bunts today. I mean, 1 or 2. But more than that, swing and a miss, and his hat comes off. He lost his hat. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Correa on first base. Altuve at the plate. Let's see if he can duplicate his hit yesterday. And he taps that one into center field, but it's playable. That was a nice smooth swing. Just got a little bit too much of it, carried it out to the center fielder, and that's going to do it for the Astros in the first. 1 walk. No hits. We go to the bottom of the second. Hunter Brown's going to be up in just a moment for the Strizos. I'm trying to put on my compression socks in case you're wondering. Okay, that's better. Now I can make my coffee. I haven't had my coffee yet today. Have you guys had something to drink? Coffee? Hot toddy? Whiskey? Anything at all? Let's see here. Oh, let me see here. Ah, okay. I thank you for letting me know that. Happy today. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I have a kind of a mini server that I have to activate in order to get the live score info on the screen. And I forgot to turn it on. I'll do that right now. I have to use the command prompt on my computer to start that. Thank you for letting me know that. That's what happens when you're in a hurry, right? Let me refresh it. It should be okay now. There we go. Okay, cool. Thank you so much for letting me know that. I totally forgot to run my command prompt to connect to the API. 96 miles an hour. The first pitch from Hunter Brown is high. Good to go now. Here comes the next pitch from Brown. That is on the outside. Outside of the field, that is. Fouled off by Profar. Jurickson Profar leading it off for the Braves today. As I struggle to get my coffee made here. 1 ball, 1 strike from Brown. Here comes the toss. 96 at the top of the zone. That looked like it was completely out of the zone. Profar didn't really like it. It was pretty high. That was about the maximum you could throw and get a strike call, looks like. It might have nicked the zone just barely. Here's the toss. Again at the top of the zone, but fouled off again. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Profar. Coffee smell. Here comes a pitch. Fouled off. You know, it's kind of funny. Whenever I have coffee, the first thing I want to do is smell it when I open it. I just want to give it a nice big whiff. It reminds me of recently, I say recently, in recent years, I'll say. That's what I mean. In recent years, I've met a lot of people who don't drink coffee. Fouled off again. Right down the middle. Profar keeps fouling it off. 6 pitches now, but only 1 ball, 2 strikes. But it's really strange because I've met a lot of foreigners over the past couple of years. Here's the pitch. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Profar. And when I say foreigners, I mean people who aren't Japanese. I've met a lot of non-Japanese people over the past couple of years, and many of them don't like coffee. 83 mile per hour pitch right in the middle of the zone. Fouled off again. That's 8 pitches. I say that the Rangers beat the Mets 3-2. That's disappointing. The Angels and the Mariners will play a little later. But I've also, a couple of those people have told me they love to smell coffee and they love the smell of coffee brewing, but they don't like drinking it. Here's the toss. 2-2 is tapped up the middle. Pena's going to have to hurry. They call him safe. Pena came in, played it as quickly as he could. I feel like he could have thrown the ball just a little faster, but I guess because he was so close and running so hard, he was trying to make sure that he got the throw to Walker. But it just arrived too late. Yeah. Yeah, I think Pena, if he had rifled it over to Walker that close, maybe Walker would have missed it. And this is a steal in the very first play. Look at that. On the very first pitch to Olsen, Diaz came up and gunned him down. Check that out. And by the way, Profar has stolen quite a few times this year, and he's only been thrown out twice. Look at that. Man, he was nailed. Diaz and Pena. That was pro level right there. Has Yiner been practicing or what? He's been nailing guys recently. Next pitch is in there. Top of the zone, baby. Matt Olson, 0-2. That was nice. Very nice. Here's the next pitch. That's in the dirt. A bouncer for ball one. I feel like when Diaz is throwing guys out, that's a good sign. Here's the next pitch. 84 on what looked like a knuckle curve in the bottom of the zone. Fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Here's the toss. 1-2. Outside edge fouled off again. Count remains 1-2. Oh, I see, Gregory. You're talking about Cole's home run. Okay. That came in after my comments about Altuve, and I thought it was the opposite. I gotcha. Low, 2-2. Happy today. Thank you again for letting me know about the scoreboard. I haven't had any coffee yet, and I've been a little busy this morning, so noticing all the details, you know. That's why you guys and gals are here. Give me that support. He fouls that one off. The count is 2-2. Sweet Richard is on the 18th beer. That's crazy. Darryl, lots of water. Here comes the next toss. High in the zone, and he hits it out to left field, but should be playable. And it is. Cole is out there, and he puts it away. That's kind of similar to yesterday, but he actually got the first out yesterday with a fly ball. Today he gets the second out. Does that mean that he's going to hit twice as many or get twice as many RBIs as yesterday? We'll see. Man, today's batters, some of them wear so much stuff. If I wore all of this stuff when I was playing baseball, people would just laugh at me. Looking like a robot or something. RoboCop at the plate. If you guys remember the old Nintendo game called Base Wars, all of the players are robots. And you have a baseball that's thrown or shot, but then they fight for the bases. That's what this looks like. That's outside. 1-1 is the count. Yeah, that's no respect at all, Gregory, that they didn't even try to get the home run. But you know, what do you expect from the Braves right now? Wow. How was that a ball? Brown throws that one in the top of the zone, inside the top of the zone. Called a ball. And the umpire has called some of these outside of the zone or above it a strike. This umpire is kind of scattered today. This is grounded to Correa. Correa scoops it up, fires it over for a nice strike to first base. Acuna Jr. is out. All right. One hit for the Braves, but Diaz guns him out at second base. So that's going to turn into a 3-up and 3-down situation. How about that? Nice. My coffee is ready. And I am ready for my coffee. Ken says, I wear compression leggings for edema myself. Misery enjoys company. I hear ya. You know, sometimes when you put your compression socks on, it feels so good, right? It's like, oh man, this feels nice. But when you have to wear them all day, and you have to wear them every day, it just gets old sometimes, especially during the summertime. It's so hot, so hot. They are really nice to wear during winter. Helps to keep the legs warm. But man, during the summertime, it's so freaking annoying. But I will tell you this. Sometimes I get up, and while I'm moving around, I realize very quickly something feels strange. And it's because I'm not wearing my compression socks. And then as soon as I put them on, my legs are like, ah, oh, it feels so good. So it's strange because sometimes you want them on, and sometimes you just don't want to have anything to do with them. One of those things. I could have used compression socks when I was playing basketball. That would have been really good, but my parents never would have bought me anything like that. It was hard enough to get shoes, basketball shoes, from my parents, much less accessories. First pitch to Sanchez. Swing and a miss, strike one. I want a sip of coffee. Oh, that's good. Here's the next pitch. Top of the zone, called a ball. Darrow says, what's up with the Braves' funky uniforms? These are their City Connect uniforms. Here's the toss. Fouled off on the outside edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, Michael, I'd say that over the past few games, Yiner has impressed me. And that throw out was nothing short of absolutely amazing. Because he's only been thrown out twice this year. And the Yiner didn't just throw him out, but the throw was perfect. And it got there way before his hand was even close to the bag. He was almost 2 feet off the bag when he got tagged out. That was awesome. Here comes a 1-2 pitch from Buddy Sanchez, or to Buddy Sanchez. And that's right down the middle, taken for strike 3. What are you doing, my friend? Got to take that bat off the shoulder and swing at that stuff. Look at that, 87 mile per hour changeup right in the bottom of the zone. He knew it and he walked away with his head held low. So Sanchez goes down. Walker comes up. First pitch taken for ball 1. Here's the toss. That's going to be hit up the middle for a hit. All right, Walker. Just to the left. Just to the shortstop's left. In between the shortstop and the second base bag. Nice grounder right up the middle. Just for Gregory. Gregory, I'm going to dedicate all of Christian Walker's hits and accomplishments to you. Every single hit, every great catch is dedicated to you. Jake Myers is at the plate. Jake the take. Strike 1. Jake the take. So if If Myers just stands there and takes pitches and strikes out, we'd call him Jake the Take. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That's in the dirt and outside. One out here in the top of the second. The Astros and the Braves knotted up with one hit each and goose eggs on the board. But we have Walker on first base with one out. Here's the toss to Jake. Jake the Take. 2 balls and 1 strike. I guess take could be ball or strike, but if he takes and walks, we can call him Jake the Take. And if he strikes out with a take, we can call him Jake the Take. So it kind of goes both ways. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the toss. And he holds up. They say he went around. That's strike 2. 2-2. Daryl says these look like the old Expos. I could see that. That's funny. Hey, Brendan. How's it going? Good to see you. They kind of do, don't they? They throw it over to first base to reset the clock. Walker doesn't seem to be a threat to steal today. We got the even count, 2-2. Jake the Rake at the plate. Here's the toss. Outside. Good take. Jake the Take. Jake is on the take. Full count. Make this pitcher work. He had a very easy first inning. We need to jack up his pitching count. They're working on it. He's up to 28 pitches. This will be the 29th. In the low part of the zone. Myers fouls it off and almost loses his helmet. Yeah, Greg, you're right. Singles are all... I mean, that's what the Astros did yesterday. Mostly. They did have the long ball, but most of their hits were singles. That's in the dirt. And Walker was stealing. Look at that. Walker was actually stealing, but Jake the Take gets a walk. Jake the Snake switches to Take. Now we have 2 on. Yiner. I have a good feeling about Yiner today. That throwout made me feel good about him. First pitch right in there, 93 miles an hour, strike 1. Prodigy wants to know if anybody caught the score in the Tennessee-Georgia game in football. No, but I can look it up. Here's the pitch to Diaz. Hey, right up the middle again. That's going to score Walker easily. He's booking it around. Choo-choo. Trammell is not even on the field, but the tram is already making the rounds, baby. Nice single up the middle. Myers moves to second base. It's 1-0 Stros. Look at that. 2-seam fastball, and Yiner had no problem moving that right up the middle. Same exact spot as Walker's hit. He had a little more beef on it, but Yiner is a beefy guy. Ooh, Cole is at the plate, takes a big swing at the first pitch. The slider misses it. Zach Cole. Here's the pitch. By the way, his batting average in AAA is .353. So it's not too far off from batting .750. That's what his average is right now in the MLB. Here's the 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Good take. Here comes the next toss. Right on the outside edge. Strike 2. It was close. NCAA F. Georgia and Tennessee. Georgia won in overtime. Swing and a miss. Cole strikes out. That's disappointing. That's 2 down. Top of the order back up at the plate. Runners on first and second. If you take a look here, there's the final score there. 44-41. Georgia over Tennessee. First pitch to Pena is at the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Jake Myers on second base. Yonder Diaz on first. 2 away. Pena looking to drive in some more runs here. Low and outside in the dirt. 1-1. Yeah, Prodigy, my feeling was right. Whenever a player does something like that, right? I think we've discussed that in the chat before. Somebody makes a good defensive play, and then the very next inning they come up to bat and they get a hit, right? It happens a lot. That's in the dirt again. 2 balls and no strikes. I'm sorry, 2 balls and 1 strike. I don't know why I said no strikes. What am I looking at here? It was a nice clean swing. Yep. Walker scoring runs is a good thing. Shrewdly. I like that comment. Hey, all right. Pena goes into left field. That's most likely going to be a double. That could score 2 runs. It's all the way to the wall. Myers comes in. Diaz is waved in. The throw comes in, but it's too late. 3-0 Stros. The Flash does it, baby. The Flash comes through. What a nice hit. And why did they play him so far over? The left fielder was playing so far over. Look at this. He line drives it out into left field. But I want you to look and see where the left fielder was playing. Look how far over he was. He was not able to get there. He was way over. Look how far over he was. Why are you playing over there? Pena can pull the ball, bro. Defensive breakdown on the Braves right there. All right, the Flash on second base. They're going to have a little meeting on the mound with Kranitz. Kranitz. That sounds like the name of a bad guy in a Christmas cartoon movie. Mommy, why are there no gifts under the tree? I don't know, dear. It's Kranitz. Kranitz is trying to destroy Christmas. Christmas Kranitz. Jordan comes back to the plate. He's got a guy in scoring position. Let's not stop now. Let's keep going. Let's run up the score. We've got 2 outs on the board. That means that we can get about 5 more runs. Here comes the first pitch to Alvarez. And he swings and misses. That's 4 straight strikes to Alvarez. 2 looking and 2 swinging. Come on, Alvarez. Put that lumber on the leather. Lumber on leather. Lumber on leather. Metal song. Here's the toss. Whew, that one was in there, but he fouled it off on the third base side. Another strike against Jordan. It's 0-2. Yeah, Shrewdly's comment was seeing an Astro take a close pitch. It brings a tear to my eye. Same here. Feels nice, doesn't it? Jordan strikes out again. A foul tip into the glove of the catcher. So our number 1 offensive producing guy this series has been garbage. Can you believe that? Astros scored 11 runs yesterday. Jordan had nothing to do with it. And today's like, nah, I can't be bothered. Scoring runs, taking part in rallies, no thanks. I mean, if Walker and Diaz are getting hits, there's nothing for me to do here. What am I supposed to do? My purpose is gone. Jordan is struggling because he feels he has no purpose in life anymore. So whenever Jordan is hitting, all of the Astros come in and they're like, "Oh my God, how do we stop missing pitches? How do we stop chasing? How do we start hitting the ball, scoring runs, driving in base runners? How do we do that?" And then suddenly they're like, "Oh wait, I've got it. We figured it out." They start hitting the ball, they start scoring runs, and then Jordan comes to the field And he sits over there in the dugout, and he's thinking, what's my purpose in life? I don't have a meaning anymore. I thought I was supposed to be 100% of the offensive production, but what's happening before my eyes, I don't understand. What do I do? Do I try to get a walk? Or no, maybe I'm the strikeout guy now. Maybe I strike out. Okay, I'll do that. I'm just joking, of course, but it's funny to think about that all of the Astros suddenly start hitting and scoring runs. 3-0 already today. 3 runs in the second inning. 11 yesterday. And none of them coming at the bat of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Hunter Brown is back on the mound in the bottom of the second. He's facing Drake Baldwin. That is high. Ball 1. Hey, Caesar, good to see you today. Welcome back. Here's the 1-0. He hits this one up to center field, but Myers floats over and puts it away. Easy out. 2 pitches, 1 down. Ozzie Albies will be up at the plate in just a moment. That's right, disrespecting the elder. You're right, Prodigy. Hey, Fox Abad, good to see you. Go Astros, indeed. Yes, welcome to a cheerful game. It's cheerful so far. It's easy to get in a good mood, right, when the Astros make it easy. The challenge is, can we be in a good mood whenever they're making it difficult? Another one hit to center field. This time Myers goes to his right and puts it away. Back-to-back fly balls to Jake the take. He's on the take. Lowest opponent slugging percentage belongs to this guy on the mound right here. Wow, just 262. That's crazy. Slugging percentage against Hunter Brown is 262. That's absolutely amazing. Here comes the first pitch to Ha-Sung Kim. Right in there, strike 1. 93 miles an hour. Caesar, I'm glad to hear that. I hope that I can always entertain, even if the Astros are not. Here is the pitch. 95 on the upper outer edge. Strike 2. Hunter Brown with 2 strikes. Kim takes a timeout. Hunter Brown will take a stroll off the mound for a moment. Let's shoot for 12 or a baker's dozen. A dozen or a baker's dozen? I'm okay with both. Or either. Here comes the toss. High and outside, 1-2. Yeah, Gregor, you're right. Jordan looks like Walker struggling, right? Swinging and missing pitches right in the zone. 1-2 pitch on the way. Fouled off. 95 right in there. Hunter Brown up to 28 pitches now. Would be nice for him to get out of the inning here before getting to 30 pitches. He's got 2 outs, nobody on. Shut him down, Brown. Shut him down, Brown. Here's the pitch. Too low. Little low and outside on the cutter. 2-2 is the count. Fox at Bat says, I hope this series is the team's takeoff for the rest of the season. Me too, bro. Me too. Astros start scoring 8 to 12 runs every single game all the way to the end of the year and just destroying everybody. There's a bouncer up the middle. Altuve's going to have to hurry with it, but he gets it. Good D. Man, Altuve yesterday and today has looked sharp on defense and offense. Making some good plays. That was not an easy play. Up the middle on the bounce. And then had to fire over to first base, but he got it. Out number 3. 2 innings gone. Tuesday. Astros have given up 1 hit, no runs, no errors. And they themselves have hit the ball 3 times and have just as many runs on the board. It's 3-0 Stros going into the top of the 3rd. Carlos Correa is coming up in just a moment. Good old South Korea. I need to pull up the LSU game. LSU's playing Florida today, so I don't get to watch it live. It's in the first, 0-0 right now. Looks like Florida has the ball on the LSU 27. LSU should win this game, but you know, college football, you never know. Throws it away. 4th and 8. They're going to shut them down. I guess they're going to go for a field goal. Nice stop by the LSU defense. Notre Dame has beaten A&M 7-0, Susan says. By the way, if you guys and gals are interested in dropping any scores of note, most 25-plus home run season by players 5'7" or shorter. Altuve's tied with Hack Wilson. One more, and he'll take the lead. How about that? Altuve has a variety of stats that other people don't have. Look at that. Very first pitch hit it to left field. That's going to be a double for Correa. The hits keep coming, baby. The Astros are like Michael Jackson in his heyday. The hits just keep coming. Hee hee. Nice. The Astros commentators are saying that Elder is lucky that wasn't crushed, because it was a hanger. Altuve at the plate, low and outside, good take, ball 1. Altuve and Albies, he was like, who's taller? That's funny. They're like, Albies, you're tall. He's like, me? Okay. They laughed about it. That's funny. That's in there for strike 1, 1-1 to Altuve. Yeah, if you see any interesting scores of note in the NCAA football scoreboard, let me know. Any notable teams, you can feel free to drop them in the chat. I like to see the updates on the scores, but I don't always have time to look them up. That's a lot of scores, a lot of games. Into right field, Altuve's down with a single. Correa will be held up, though. Perez Chica does not send him home. A little questionable. But we have runners on the corners with no outs. 85 miles an hour on the slider. Altuve just pokes it. Yeah, the tongue comes out, baby. When you see the tongue, good things are happening for Altuve. I have to say that when I'm not seeing Altuve stick out his tongue, I feel sad. When I see the tongue come out, I'm like, yes! Here's the pitch to Sanchez. He fouls it off. 90 low and away. It's definitely elder abuse. There's one thing that the Astros need to be today, and that's elder abusers. This is tapped to the right side, and he'll score Correa. They can't get a double play, but they get Altuve at second base. It's 4-0 Stros. So Sanchez reaches on a fielder's choice with the bouncer. At least he didn't rip it to second base, so I'm not going to complain about that. When you get guys on the corners and you got no outs and you bounce it to second base, That is absolutely fine. Just do your job. Score the run, you know. Score that lead run. Score that runner in scoring position. Yeah, Abel, how about that? 4-0. How about that? Ken says, why can't you watch that game live? Are you talking about the LSU game, Ken? I can watch it live, but it's because I'm doing this game live. I can't watch the LSU game and do the Astros game at the same time. I have to choose, but my community here and my live play-by-play channel comes first, right? Sanchez is stealing. He's going to be in at second base. The ball bounces in there a little late. It's funny because they said that all season long Sanchez wasn't really trying to steal bases, but starting in the Toronto series, he's been making steal attempts consistently. Astros might slowly become a stealing team because we actually have more than a few players that have wheels. 1-1 is the count to Walker. Here's the toss. Ooh, swing and a miss, low and outside on the slider. 1-2 is the count. Well, 25 home runs for Altuve is, I don't know if it's average, but it's kind of, oh, this is hit hard to center field. That might be gone. It's back, it's back, it's gone. That's a Skywalker homer to center field, and that's for Gregory. How about that? Blast to center field, 6-0 Astros. Skywalker. He says, you know what? Just for Gregory. Gregory Martinez, this is for you. All right. How about that? 5 hits in Walker's last 6 at-bats. You know, the cool thing is that Walker, out of his 23 home runs, 15 have been on the road. That's excellent. That's like opposite of Paredes. Hit up the middle. Myers is going to rush. Look at that. Myers hits it off the pitcher, and it ricochets over to the right side. Olsen, the first baseman, dives for it, tries to scoop it to the pitcher, but he can't get it over there. Here's the home run by Walker. A slider right down the middle, and he just puts it almost directly to center field over 400 feet. Myers is on first base. There's that hit off the pitcher. Look at this. First baseman tried to scoop it up. There was nothing he could do there. That's an infield hit for Myers. We only have 1 out. They're keeping it going. Pass the baton. 3 runs last inning, 3 runs this inning. Now they're going to let Elder take some warm-up pitches here. You know, the Astros are lighting this guy up. Kind of wondering why they're trying to keep him in there rather than just go ahead and, I don't know, maybe they're like, this game is over. Maybe they're giving up. These poor fans. Many of the fans didn't even show up for this game today. And the ones who did have to be like, I knew I should have stayed home. I knew it. All right, so LSU has the ball, or did they just punt it away to Florida? It's 3-0 Florida. They got the field goal. This is hit up the middle by Yiner. Look at that, in the same exact spot as last time on the very first pitch. Yiner Diaz, 2 for 2 today. I'm telling you, they are owning Elder right now. You talking about elder abuse? Is this the nursing home? The Atlanta nursing home. The Astros go right into the nursing home and just, they take out their bats, walking around abusing all of the elders. Runners on first and second with 1 out. I'm sorry. Zach Cole back at the plate for another opportunity here. That's ball 1, low and inside. Elder got mugged again. You're welcome, Gregory. I mean, I'm I'm always happy to see Walker hit the ball, but I know you like him, so the better he does, the happier I am for you. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Low, good take, 2-0. Revenge for the 21 series. Yeah, it's some delayed revenge. Yeah, LSU gave up they had a good defensive stop, but they did get the field goal. Chatting with the home plate umpire. Astros are 10 for 16 so far in this series with runners in scoring position. That means that they are bringing almost all of their lobsters home. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Cole swings and misses that slider low and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Oh, Fox, you made the comment about Walker? You're right, sir, but, you know, right now it's everybody. Are you talking about a feeling about the homer? Everybody's hitting the ball right now, but Walker has got the most thumps so far. 2 balls and 2 strikes on that pitch. Zach Cole at the plate. Come on, Cole, join the party. Don't be a Jordan. In the dirt. Full count. Let's see here. Blue Devil says, have a game, Stros, for sure. Oh, sweet Richard, I'm sure that she has been. Everybody's been all over the Phillies, Karen. She has no opportunity to get out of that. And Cole does his best Jordan Alvarez impersonation and strikes out. That's 2 strikeouts for Cole today. You know, we might not see anything at all from Cole today. I wouldn't doubt it. Yesterday was a big day. Today, we might just see nothing but strikeouts from him. It's possible. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. He had a nice double. Scored a couple of RBIs already. A little below the zone for ball 1. 2 runners on with 2 outs. That means it's time to score about, I don't know, 2 more runs. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That was right in the zone. He just got too far underneath it. Profar comes in, puts it away for out number 3. So Pena flies out. But the Astros have 8 freaking hits on the board right now and 6 runs. 6-0. Going into the bottom of the 3rd. How do you like that? Let's go check the LSU game. I want to see what's going on. Of course, it's a commercial break. Because, you know, always. They called pass interference right there. I think they might have called a timeout. There's about 9 minutes left in the game. I'm sorry, 9 minutes left in the first quarter. Might be a turnover. Might have been a turnover right here. Because I think they're on commercial break right now. If they went to a commercial break after this, it must have been a turnover. That's my guess. Let's see. I'm watching the replay. No. No turnover there. Still on commercial break right now, so I'm just checking out, see where the Tigers are. I really would, normally I would be watching every single game. Every year I watch every single LSU Tiger football game, but like I said, my priority is this community, this channel. Take a look at this. The Astros rookie ERA leaders this month, 2.28, number 1 in MLB. By far and away the leader in that division. Blue ball, Brian King and some other guys out in the bullpen. Spada must be very happy about this series so far. I did guess. Well, I didn't guess. I just said I want to see. That's what I said. I want to see 30 runs in this series scored by the Astros. They're working on it. They're chipping away at that. And here's the pitch by Hunter Brown, outside and high. Ball one. Michael Harris, the second at the plate. Here comes the next pitch. Outside, swing and a miss, 1-1. Nice sinker from Brown. Abel says, I love that the Astros are showing signs of badass energy in life. Me too, sir, me too. Ramon Urias is in the game. It looks like they have taken Altuve out. Not quite sure why. Here comes the next pitch from Brown. This is tapped to the right side. Brown is able to grab it and step on the base. Harris didn't want to get tagged, so he decided to just step on the base. Here's a little replay on that. Hunter Brown was going to tag him out, but he stopped, so he's like, okay, I'll just step on the bag. 1 out. Marcell Ozuna comes to the plate, bottom of the third, 1 out, nobody on. Here's the pitch. Okay, Altuve is not in the dugout right now. And there has been no word, according to the commentators, about why he's out of the game. That's not good to hear. But they did say that on the ground ball from Sanchez, Altuve slid into second base, and they're speculating about whether or not maybe he kind of hurt himself a little bit when he did that. But as soon as we find out something, we'll pass it along. That's the word. Right on the outside edge, but called a ball. 2-1 is the count to Ozuna. So it looks like we're going to have Urias in the game, rest of the game. That's sad because, first of all, he's Altuve. Second of all, he was really doing well to start this game. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Low and outside. 3-1 is the count. Ken says my last season tickets were in 2005, and I saw the World Series run. Poor Bagwell's shoulder was all but shot by then. Yeah, that's sad. This one is hit right to Pena, who fires it over to first. And that'll be out number 2. Nacho Alvarez Jr. comes up to the plate in just a moment. 2 up and 2 down for the Stros. Check Elder's glove for Geritol. Maybe he's got some A&D ointment in there. I'm not going to lie, though. I love me some A&D ointment. That stuff's awesome. Surely remembers the shoulder. Tough to watch. 95 fouled off on the inside. 1-1. You know, I never really knew that, because I know that in the Jack Black movie, his name is Ignacio, and his wrestling name is Nacho Libre. But I never knew until just recently that Nacho is kind of like the nickname version of Ignacio. Did any of you know that? I didn't know that. Longhorns beat UTEP 27-10. Shouldn't they have scored more runs? Whoa, look at that. Soft line drive into center field. Pena and Urias ran after it, but Pena was able to get it for out number 3. I'm glad they didn't run into each other. That was dangerous right there. Close call. It looks like Urias didn't really have a good angle on it, but he wasn't sure if Pena was going to be able to get there, so he tried for it. I'm glad they didn't have a collision. That would have been sucky for Altuve to come out and then Urias to collide with Pena. Avoided a big issue there. But that ends the third. Astros are up 6-0, guys and gals. Just one hit in the first inning for the Braves. Let's see what we got going on in the LSU game. Third down and 9. LSU with the ball on the 39-yard line, their own 39. Terrible throw. Tipped at the line of scrimmage, now it'll be 4th down. They're going to be punting it away again. So the first quarter is not looking so great. 5 minutes remaining. The Tigers. You know, I will say this. The Astros defense is pretty solid. It looks pretty solid. I don't have any problems with their defense this year, that's for sure. But when it comes to their offense, I'm just not sold. I've never really been sold on Nussmeier. And he's not a bad quarterback. But I feel like he's always just going to be above average, but never really good, and definitely never great. That's just my feeling. People keep trying to hype him up year after year about how he's going to come along, but I've never seen it. Jordan is at the plate, fouls it away. 0-1 is the count. Alvarez trying to break his streak of not contributing to this game in this series. That's a ball high, 1-1. Marty says, wow, the Braves are bad. I heard they were flirting with record-breaking losing season of some kind. Yeah. I didn't really realize just how poorly the Braves were playing until yesterday, because I watched the Locked On Braves podcast after the game, just because I wanted to have an understanding of how they feel about the team. I wouldn't say that the guy was negative, but he gave me a kind of an understanding, a finger on the pulse, so to speak. Jordan strikes out again on the 2-2. That was in the dirt. 3 strikeouts for Jordan today. All of his strikeouts, all of Elder's strikeouts today are against the left-handed hitters. Zach Cole is doing garbage against Elder. Jordan is doing garbage against Elder. Sanchez has a fielder's choice. But only the Astros' right-handed bats are destroying this guy. First pitch to Correa is a ball. 1 out, nobody on. Here's the toss. In the dirt, 1-1. Oh. Those are some sad times with the terrible shoulder. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 3 balls and no strikes to Correa. University of Houston won yesterday. They're 3-0. That's pretty cool. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Way high, ball 4. Correa walks. Correa having a pretty good day. Got himself a hit, run scored, couple of walks. He's been on base every time. Abel says, I just hope we can continue this energy when we face the strangers. That's a half swing for Ramon Urias for strike one. Yeah, you're right, Abel. We're definitely going to need to continue this energy when we face the strangers and the submariners. We have to. It's in the dirt. Another pitch out of the zone. Lots of balls being thrown by Elder right now. If I were Jordan, I would bunt or take. That's all I would do right now. If it's in the zone, bunt. If it's not in the zone, take. Here's the pitch, the 1-1. Oof. Swing and a miss, 91, low and inside. 1 out, 1 on, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ramon Urias. This crowd is so quiet you can barely hear them. This is hit high in the air. Is it going to be playable? Looks like it. Yep, he puts it away. Out number 2. Jesus Sanchez comes up. Let's see what Buddy can do. Prodigy says, I thought nacho was the name for one of my favorite Mexican appetizers. Man, I don't order that as an appetizer. I order that as a meal. Hey, look at that! Sanchez! Sanchez bunts it. He does exactly what I was saying Jordan should do. Isn't that funny? Sanchez must have been listening. That's what they're doing on those tablets. They're listening in. He's like, hey, that's a good idea. Either take or bunt. And then he bunts it on the very first pitch. But he gets thrown out at first base. It's not a bad idea. You know, if you're going to have trouble hitting the guy, might as well bunt even with 2 outs. I'm not going to be opposed to that. I mean, they're up by 6. They're up by 6. It's okay. It's okay. That's the end of the top of the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Brown will be back up on the mound in just a moment, facing Jurickson Profar. I almost said Jurickson Profar. Jurickson Profar. There is a place called Morgan. It's a American comfort food cafe in Hiroshima City. And they have a nacho plate there. They have a half size and a full size. And man, it is so amazing. So amazing. So delicious. When I order that, it is typically my meal. My entire meal. Just order the full size. And they're like, you know, this is for 3 people. I'm like, yeah, if they want appetizers, but I want to eat it by myself as a meal. They're like, okay. They always say that, even though they know me. I've been in there so many times. And whenever I order it, they say, you know, this is for 3 people. Well, I'm about the size of 3 people. I'm a big dude. It's a Japanese couple that owns the shop. It's funny because they're selling not only American-style foods, and the sizes are very American-style, but they don't seem to quite understand the American palate, though. You know, they expect people to come in and eat like Japanese. You know, they don't eat as much as Americans do. Americans eat a lot more. Westerners in general even eat a lot more. Australians eat a ton of food too. When I was in Australia, every time we went to a cafe or a restaurant, I was shocked by the portion sizes. The portion sizes were crazy. Hunter Brown back on the mound. He'll be facing Profar. First pitch on the way. Un momento. Por favor. Here comes the pitch. Outside, ball 1. The LSU Florida stream that I was checking out has been removed by YouTube. That's right in there. 86 miles an hour down the middle. 1-1 is the count. I always think it's funny when people ask me, why don't you just show the whole game? You really don't know why? You really don't know why. This is lined over on the right side, but straight at Walker. Makes the catch. Out number 1. Matt Olson comes to the plate. 1 up and 1 down. Yeah, they're checking Altuve. We don't know yet about his condition, but we'll see. I hope he's well too, Fox. I think he'll be okay. Here's the pitch. High and outside. Unless Altuve has one of those McCullers injuries where people want to take him out of the lineup and let him rest. And so they say, oh, he's injured, so they can take him out. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Nice. 95 right in there. Matt Olson catches nothing but air there. A score recap between innings would be nice. Okay. Are you talking about the NCAA games, or are you talking about the scores from around the league? There aren't too many scores going on right now. Too many games in the MLB, but I can check those out. Mark says 100 viewers and almost 70 likes. I haven't even checked it, but yeah, please remember to like the live stream. I command you. Oh, that's crushed to right field. Hunter Brown looks very upset about that one. That's gone to the back of the front row, almost to the upper deck. That was destroyed. The 50th pitch of the game by Hunter Brown, and it is destroyed. 6-1. The Braves get a run on the board with their second hit of the game. Man, that ball was destroyed. He was camping on that one. Look at this. Knuckle curve, and it stayed up. He was just able to scoop it out of there. That's the kind of knuckle curve I used to destroy when I was in high school. The reason I say high school and not Tokyo, because I did play baseball in Tokyo, but the fields out there are massive. They are. But it's not just that. For those of you who don't know this, in most of these leagues, not the professional leagues, of course, but in most of these leagues around Japan, they use a hard rubber baseball. They say it's supposed to act like a regular baseball. 1-1 is the count to Acuna. But it really doesn't. You can't drive it as far out. You're going to lose a little bit of driving distance. So it's very difficult to hit a home run. I haven't seen anybody hit a home run using that baseball here in Japan. That's a line drive through the left side. That's going to be another hit. Back-to-back hits off of Hunter Brown. A home run and now a single. Acuna Jr. is on first base with the one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Ken is right. Bunting is a talent, but everybody should learn it. If you're a batter, you got to learn how to bunt. That's like learning how to drive, but never paying attention to learning how to park. You know what I'm saying? Parking most of the time is pretty easy. Most of the time. But sometimes parking is a skill required. Put on the base to get the double play. So Acuna makes the double play very easy for Walker. So Walker figures it out. He's like, I know that I need to tag you. It doesn't matter if your foot is on first base or not. All I have to do is tag you and then put my foot on first base and I'll get the double play. So Walker's defensive IQ is apparently higher than Acuna's. And that ends the inning. We go to the top of the fifth. The Astros up 6-1. That was hilarious. Let's see if there is another channel streaming the LSU game. I want to see if anything is going on there. Yeah, it looks like it's in the second quarter now. The Tigers are going to try a field goal in the second quarter. So it's tied. It should be tied. I'm sorry. It should be tied here in a moment if the Tigers actually get their field goal. That's the update there. Let's see if there's any scores. Take a look. College football scoreboard. Texas Tech 35-0 over Oregon State in the third. Miami 28-6 over South Florida in the third. Ohio losing to Ohio State in the second. It's almost at halftime, looks like. Or is, I can't see the... Yeah, it's almost halftime. 13-0 in that game. Illinois is over Western Michigan. 10-0 in the second. Arkansas and Ole Miss tied up. Go Ole Miss. I can't stand Arkansas. It's 21-21 though in that game. That's a battle going on. LSU about to try to kick a field goal, I believe, at the beginning of the second quarter. We'll find out shortly if that's successful. Notre Dame winning 14-7 over Texas A&M. That's going to be a tough game, I think. Vanderbilt and South Carolina tied up. But right now, Christian Walker's back at the plate with a 1-1 count. Apparently, I missed the first two pitches. Here comes the next toss. Swing and a miss on the inside. 83-mile-per-hour slider. Bryce Elder is still in the game for the Braves. Walker didn't even move. He didn't move. When Walker turned around, he was about to throw it to second base, and he was like, oh, you're right there. That's easy. You know that the umpire, you know that the coach had to have yelled at him after that. Like, dude, what are you doing out there? Just standing there when the ball was grounded? Just standing there? You got to run, bro. You can't just stand there like a fool. 0-2 to Myers. That's hit out into right field, and that's going to be down for another hit. How about that? Myers, 2 for 2 today at the plate. Jake the Rake continues on the take. All right. If Myers is going, that's good. That's good. It's good. That's real good. Yainer Diaz, also 2 for 2 today. Here's the pitch. Low and in the dirt. Ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Yainer. He hits this one way up in the air. Is that going to be playable? Looks like it's going to float into the crowd, thankfully. 1-1 is the count. I wonder how many likes and views we have right now. The Braves do have a guy going in the bullpen finally. $73 likes. 99 watching. That's not bad. The ratio's not bad. That's about 75%. It's very close to 75%. That's good. Just need some more people watching. If you have not liked the live stream, I appreciate you giving it the ye old thumbs up right now, if you will. That little thumbs up icon is right below the video for those of you who need the little bit of assistance in locating it. And that's where it's at. I just liked it myself. It doesn't count, but I'm going to like it anyway. Myers comes all the way around on the steal. Diaz punches it through the right side. And now we have runners on the corner with 1 out for Zach Cole. Zach King Cole. Zach King Cole comes to the plate. Let's see if he can relive some of that glory from yesterday. Get back on the battlefield, boy. He had a lot of instruction from the hitting coach. They had two, count them, 2 tablets. 2 different tablets showing him lots of info. Oh, they're still talking to him. Okay, they're going to change out the pitcher. Bryce Elder is not going to pitch to him. By the way, here's the clip of his team watching, his minor league team watching him. Look at that. That's what some of you were talking about yesterday, the reaction of his minor league team watching his home run, his first at bat. And then he watched the video later on. The Corpus Christi hooks. He wiped his eyes a little. He's smiling, but you could tell that got to him. That's nice. That's an amazing memory right there. No matter what happens for the rest of his career, that's an amazing memory yesterday, you know? Sure, it was a wonderful day. That was a high, I'm sure. Well, Prodigy, Acuna couldn't do much, but you have to run. Because you still have to make Walker make the play, you know? So that's the only choice he had, was to run. But he didn't even move. He just stood there. But yes, his only choice was to run, and he didn't even do that. Oh, Mardik wants to know the lobster counts. Let me take a look. Here's the first pitch to Cole. It's low and outside. Dylan Dodd is on the mound for the Braves. Here's the next pitch to Cole. Fouled back for strike one. 1-1 is the count. The lobster count right now is Astros 11, Braves 1. But the Astros have 6 runs on the board, so that lobster count is perfectly acceptable. Low and outside. Braves haven't had many guys on base. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's a full count to Cole. Yeah, I see LSU got the field goal at the beginning of the second. Thank you there, Susan, for that update. I've been going back and forth as best I can to take a look. But on YouTube, that's a walk inside. So Cole manages a walk. That's good. That's good. We got bases loaded now for Pena. 1 out. Bases loaded here in the 5th inning. Jeremy Pena comes up. Pena needs to give us a grand slam. That should be on a bingo card, right? If you had an Astros bingo card for 2025, a Jeremy Pena grand slam could be one of those. Here's the pitch. Way outside, ball 1. Dylan Dodd walks his first batter. The lefty for the Braves. Abel says, don't just do something, stand there. He grounds out when fouled down the third base side. The count's 1-1. Yeah, you're right, Prodigy. Like the kids have, some of the little leagues, right? The chin straps. Get Myers a chin strap for his helmet. Altuve needs one too. Altuve and Myers both lose their helmets often, but Altuve often loses his when he swings the bat. Myers loses his either when he swings or when he's running. I think he loses his helmet the majority of the time. Pena line drives it straight at the third baseman. He's able to make the catch. Nobody can advance, but he ripped that ball. Man, that was a scorcher. That could have been easily to the wall again. Look at this. Right at the third baseman. Over 104 miles an hour. But Nacho is able to catch it. 2 down, and guess who's at the plate? Jordan. Is he going to bunt? What's he going to do? 95 high, ball 1. Assistance in locating it. Jeffrey, no way Acuna thought that was caught in the air. No way. It was a ground ball. But even if it was caught in the air, why didn't he move back to first immediately? He literally just stood there. I'm serious. He didn't move at all. He didn't run. He didn't go immediately back to first base. He just stood there. Swing and a miss again by Jordan. The count's 1-2. If you go back and look at the review, the replay rather, you'll see that when the ball was hit, he didn't move at all. He didn't actually move until after Walker turned around and realized that he was just standing there. But by then it was too late. That's what I'm saying. He should have been running because it was, number one, clearly a ground ball. Number two, even after the ball got in play, he didn't move. He just stood there. Fouled off by Alvarez. We've got runners on all bases right now, first, second, and third, with 2 outs in the top of the 5th, and Jordan at the plate. 3 strikeouts today. Come on, do something here, baby. Here's the toss. Hey, is that going to get down? No! Whoa, he almost missed it. He slipped. Profar went over to get it, and he slipped and barely made the catch. That was very dangerous. If he had missed that, if it had gone over his head when he slipped here, that would have gone to the wall and scored 3 runs, guys. But he manages to get it despite slipping. Jordan can't get lucky. Whew, that was something else. Something else. Yeah, Daryl, do something. Stick out your arm. Take it for the team. Put your arm, elbow out there. Hug the plate. Do something. The Astros rack up the lobsters that inning. Holy cow, they rack up the lobsters. The lobsters go way up to 17. Astros were at 11, and now they're at 17. My gosh. Look at the lobster count right now. The Astros are starting to get out of control. The amount of guys that they are leaving on base and not moving around is insane. I mean, if they didn't have 6 runs, I mean, even with 6 runs right now, 17, that's starting to push it. They should have, I say that they should have at least 9 runs, 8 or 9 runs. The way I look at it is, for every lobster you have, you should have, for every 2 lobsters, you should have 1 run, in my opinion. If you got 20 lobsters, then you should have 10 runs. So right now they should have 8 or 9 runs on the board, not 6. They have stranded too many guys on base. Let me see if I can find another live stream for the Tigers game. The LSU Florida game has been pulled down. See where it says video unavailable? People's live streams are getting pulled down left and right at the moment. Yeah, see, all of these are being pulled down. The only thing that's really available is the watch parties. But if we go to the scoreboard, we can check that out. Still 3-3. LSU has the ball. Hey, it looks like they're getting closer to scoring. They're about on the 30-yard line of Florida. So hopefully they'll get a touchdown here. 2nd and 8 on Florida's 29. That's good. Good to see. Arkansas, Ole Miss tied up at 28. Let's see. Ohio State and Ohio still pretty close. 13-3 at halftime. Man, Ohio is giving Ohio State a little bit of trouble there, right? Just a 10-point lead. Miami handling South Florida, looks like 28-6. Texas Tech, no problem over Oregon State. Let's go down here. Hey, look at that. Texas A&M coming back against Notre Dame, 17-14. Vanderbilt and South Carolina tied up at 7 right now in the second. Utah 3-0 over Wyoming in the second. Yeah, that's the second. Penn State destroyed Villanova 52-6. That's not surprising. Oregon beat Northwestern 34-14. Of course, we know that Georgia beat Tennessee from earlier. Texas beat UTEP 27-10. Yep. Look at that. Georgia Tech beat Clemson? Are you serious? I didn't know that. That's good news. I don't like Clemson. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ozzie Albies is at the plate. Man, so many games going on in the NCAA that you can't possibly go over them quickly, right? Most playoff seasons since 2017, the Astros and the Dodgers are tied at 8. Let's make it 9 for 9, baby. This is hit high in the air. That's going to go into the crowd. Full count. Ken says a baseball player can be assured of one thing: the ball will find you eventually, and at Mach 4 often. Yeah, and it will sting. Here's the 3-2. That's hit high in the air in left center. Who's going to take it? Cole comes in, and he grabs it. Pena could have made that. He was underneath it, but he saw Cole charging in, so he backed off and let him take it. So the rookie comes in and grabs it for out number 1. Ha-Sung Kim comes to the plate next. Prodigy says, I bet you that Pena doesn't eat nachos at Taco Arandas next time. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, forget your nachos. Can't have them because they're nachos. 95 up and out, ball 1. Here comes the next pitch. The 1-0. A little outside, just barely misses. 2-0. How many pitches is that for Brown? I think 62. Yep, 62 pitches. Marduk says Monday Night Football was a doubleheader. There's a late game. Or has a doubleheader. Really? 2 games? That's a lot. I thought Monday Night Football already was a late game. 3 balls and no strikes. 3 straight balls to Kim. Here comes the next toss by Brown. That's too far inside, but he calls it a strike. Maybe a hair away from being a strike, but the umpire liked it. So 3-1, it goes Hunter's way. Here comes the toss. Oh, that's crushed to left field. But thankfully, it goes straight up and kind of dies. Hunter Brown didn't seem to like that hit. He got lucky, though. It turned into a duck, turned into a floater. Man, off the bat, that looked really... That fooled both me and Hunter. Because off the bat, it looked like it was gone. But it went kind of up and floated and came down in play. Cole put it away, no problem, for out number 2. Hunter Brown is up to 65 pitches. It feels like more than that. I guess the Astros hitting has made this game feel extended, right? We're only in the 5th, bottom of the 5th. 0-1. Michael Harris the second at the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Here comes the toss. Swing and a miss. Nice sinker by Brown. That looked more like a fast changeup, but it was a 96-mile-per-hour sinker. Just kind of spun to the outside. 0-2 with 2 outs. Here comes the toss. Low and in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mark says that Tech beat Clemson with a last-minute field goal. That's awesome. But you know what? Clemson losing those games, it makes LSU look less and less stellar, right? That's the way it happens in college ball. That's why just getting a win is not everything in college football. The rankings don't work that way, right? 69 pitches right now for Hunter Brown. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Harris. Here comes the next delivery. He fouls that one off. 96 outside the zone. 2-2. The count remains. Two balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. 96 in the top of the zone, fouled off again. Harris giving Hunter Brown some trouble here. Tigers score a touchdown. It is now 6 more points on the board. It's now 9-3. I guess they're waiting on the extra point now. That's in the dirt. Swing and a miss, and he stands there and lets Diaz tag him. He doesn't even want to make an effort to run. Would you guys and gals believe that that's the first strikeout for Hunter Brown tonight? And it came on the 3rd out of the 5th inning. Pretty crazy. Now, but this is what I like to see from Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown just passed 70 pitches. He ended the 5th inning with just over 70 pitches. He's only allowed 3 hits and 1 run, but he only has 1 strikeout. This is the type of game that I like to see from Hunter Brown. I don't need him striking out a bunch of guys, because if Hunter Brown, let's say that we change this, nothing changes in the game. Let's say that there are 3 hits, 1 run for the Braves, right? But Hunter Brown has, like, let's say 7 strikeouts. If Hunter Brown has 7 strikeouts, then I think right now his pitch count is 90. Maybe in the mid-90s already. So this is the type of game that Brown needs to be pitching. Getting ground outs, fly outs, that sort of thing. Notre Dame scores again. 24-14 in the second quarter. Yeah, Harris, that's right, Prodigy. Harris at the plate was like, hey, if Acuna doesn't run, why should I? Maximum effort of 0. Maximum effort of 0. Man, this dude has got some... Holy cow, he's got a ton of stuff behind him. Do you guys see? Let me show this to you. This guy's live stream that he's doing. Look at what he's got back there. He's got like a case full of mini helmets of all of the NCAA football teams. That's insane. That is insane. How many subscribers does he have? He's got 350 people watching. Man, 67,000. This is pretty crazy. Look at this. Okay, he's got almost 500 people watching, but he's got 67,500 subscribers. I think that if I had 67,500 subscribers, I would have 20 or 30,000 people watching. All right. Carlos Correa is at the plate with the 1-1 count. That next pitch is what you call strike 2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Dylan Dodd still on the mound for the Braves. In the dirt, 2-2. Sweet Richard, you've either had too much to drink. You've either had too much to drink or somebody else is on your account. But I'm immediately going to put you into timeout for 10 minutes just for that nonsense. That's part of my channel identity. If you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. You can suck it. Here's the 2-2 and low and outside, full count. South Korea trying to do something here. Here's the pitch, full count, swing and a miss. That could have been ball 4 on the outside, but Correa goes after it. He goes fishing, comes back with nothing. No lobsters, no nothing. One away. Ramon Urias comes to the plate. I think his second at-bat of the game after replacing Altuve. I'm still waiting to hear an update about Altuve. They haven't said anything that I can recall. Urias fouled out to the catcher, his last at-bat. He fouls this one off, and it goes out of play for strike 1. LSU got the extra point. It's 10-3. This is fouled back again to the back screen. 0-2 the count to Urias. Yeah, they're still talking about waiting on some details regarding Altuve. In the dirt, bounces away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. How many people do we have following along right now? About 102. Has the live stream like meter gone up? If you have not liked the live stream, I appreciate you doing so right now. Here's the next pitch to Urias. That's in the dirt again. It's even, 2-2. 86 likes. Still need 14 more to get to 100. I appreciate you dropping a like on the live stream if you can. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Low. Two pitches in the dirt and another one almost in the dirt. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Urias comes back and loads up the count. Dylan Dodd with his 26th pitch. Bottom of the zone strikeout. Urias was kind of hanging around thinking maybe I'll get lucky and get a walk, but then he rung him up, so he walks away without an argument. That's 2 down in this inning. Top of the 6th. Jesus Sanchez comes to the plate. Let's see if I can give him some power. Maybe he'll do something here. And the low part of the zone. Barely clipped it. Strike 1. 94 mile per hour fastball. He does have a fielder's choice. He had a little bouncer. He tried a bunt earlier. Didn't work out, but it was a good try since he wasn't having any luck hitting the ball against the pitcher. That one's taken. 1 ball, 1 strike to Sanchez. Right in there. 87 mile per hour cutter. That was a good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think a lot of people are watching football right now, maybe. But I think that even so, 100 people watching the live stream here is a decent amount considering. Swing and a miss by Sanchez, and he goes down again. Still no hit for Sanchez today. None of our lefties have been doing well. Cole does have a walk, so that's something. But Alvarez, Sanchez, and Cole, none of these guys have hits today. And only Cole has managed to walk. That's the only productivity we've really gotten from all of our left-handers today. Can you believe that? 1 walk. They've been garbage. It's been our right-handers to get all the hits. Astros have 10 hits, all from righties. We have nothing from Jordan. Nothing from Sanchez. Nothing from Cole. It's been one of those days. The Braves had the wrong pitcher on the mound. Right? Striking out all the lefties and getting lit up by the righties. Yeah, that's nice. JT Texpat says, how about them Cougars yesterday? 36-20 over the Buffaloes. You know, I'm really, really happy about that game because I'm going to go back and actually watch a condensed version of that game. I'm sure that somebody uploaded it, an edited condensed version of the game. Maybe like a 25-minute version of the game. I'm going to watch that. I really want to see it. I'm excited about that. I'm glad that happened. You know, that's one of those games that Houston can really celebrate. The Cougars fans can be really happy about, I think. Given the dirty Sanchez, Mark says. Altuve's back in the dugout. But we still don't know why. Okay, so they're saying at the very least we can take sickness. He's eating sunflower seeds. So they said Altuve is obviously not sick, but we still don't know why he came out. The 0-1 quickly goes to 0-2. Ozuna didn't really like that call, but it was on the upper outer corner. It was a perfectly placed pitch. You know what we call those, right? A perfectly placed pitch. Do you know how to say that? You say it like this. 0-2. Here comes the pitch from Brown. Low and outside. 1-2. Braden says, I wanted to ask if I could use your logo for a school project. It's done already. Just wanted to make sure. Sure, Braden. As long as you're not defaming me. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice pitch by Hunter Brown on the knuckle curve. Ozuna goes down. That's 1 away. Nacho Alvarez Jr. comes to the plate next. Nice knuckle curve. That's the way it should have looked earlier when he got rung up on a home run. It flattened out and he gave up the homer. But Braden, yeah, I know that you're not going to deface me. What's your school project about? YouTubers? Live streamers? Baseball? Astros fans? Strange guys on YouTube talking about the Astros? 1-0 is the count to Alvarez Jr. Not Yordan Alvarez Jr. That would be crazy. Yordan having a son playing already? It's like, how old would he have to be? Maybe this guy's older than Alvarez. I don't know. They're about the same age. Can't have a son that early. 1-1 is the count. Below the zone, 2-1. So, but he's junior, right? So Nacho Alvarez Jr. Maybe he's Yordan Alvarez's brother. His father's name is Ignacio. His name is also Ignacio, but he goes by Nacho. That's in there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice knuckle curve. Abri says, good job, Astros. Yeah, it's looking good right now. 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Hunter Brown just tossed his 80th pitch of the game. He should comfortably be able to pitch a 7th inning if they want, unless they want to rest him. But since they're up by 5, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. What do you guys think? Maybe we can do a quick poll. Let's do a quick poll on that. Rest Hunter for the 7th or put him in? Rest. Pitch. Recall. Chess. Wow, look at that. Beautiful defensive play from Correa. A defensive gem. Beautiful. Take a look at this replay. Wow, what a catch. And then a great throw. Look at that. A line drive short hop. Backhanded. He slides. He gets it. And he gets him by multiple steps at first base. Correa making it look super easy. This is hit out to right field. The very first pitch to Profar. Urias grabs it for the 3rd out. That's 1-2-3 for Hunter Brown, just like that. It's one thing that I'm glad that the Astros have locked down is the freaking defense, you know. Astros are like defensive gods when you compare them to the Yankees. Many teams in the MLB are not anywhere near the caliber of the Astros defense. JT Tex Pat wants to know how things are in the land of the rising sun. You know, it's right now the climate is wrestling. The seasons are wrestling. The summer is wrestling with the fall. Summer wants to stick around. Fall wants to come in. we have a couple of really wonderful days here, man. It's like I wake up and it's the whole house is really cool, nice and cool, and I step outside and it's like, oh my gosh, it's just perfect out here, you know. And the little red dragonflies are showing up. Some of them are even landing on me. You know, I don't know what it is, but the a lot of the animals out here and the insects, the good ones, they really like me a lot. The dragonflies love me a lot. They hang around me. They're always flying around me, landing on my hat, landing on my hands. They're always, when I'm outside doing stuff, they're always landing on me. But when the red dragonflies start to show up, they are associated with fall. And just a few days ago, we had a really nice drop in temperature, and it was just a perfect day. So beautiful, felt so nice. And I went outside and I was just kind of standing there and looking around and thinking, man, it feels so nice today. And then suddenly this red dragonfly landed on my hand. And he just stood there and looked at me. So I actually took out my phone and took a picture. I took several pictures of it. And I sent it to my sensei. She's Japanese, and she said, "Oh, fall has arrived at your home already." Japanese are very familiar with those types of things. I think that most Americans, maybe even Westerners, aren't so familiar with those things. You know, you see a green dragonfly or a blue one or a red one, and you just think, oh, it's a beautiful dragonfly. But they come out at predominantly certain times of the year. You know, you start seeing them at certain times of the year, and Japanese are very familiar with these things, especially the older generation. It's very interesting how much they know about nature and animals and stuff, the symbolism stuff. Walker hits this one to center field. Harris puts it away for out number 1. Jake Myers comes to the plate with 1 down. Dylan Dodd still on the mound for the Braves. But actually, there are so many dragonflies in Hiroshima. That's the name of their professional basketball team, the Hiroshima Dragonflies. But man, they do absolutely love me out here. Myers rips that one into left field. That was a hard hit line drive, but right at the left fielder. He puts it away for out number 2. Myers gave it a ride. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Looks like the Gators have tied up the game 10-10. LSU now has the ball on their own 47 with a first down. Here's the pitch to Yainer. 94. Fastball right in the top of the zone, strike 1. Thank you, Susan, for the update there. Yes, Prodigy, they are. I love dragonflies. I've got some large blue ones that patrol the house. I'm not kidding. If you sit outside and watch them, they fly down to one end, go over, come back, and then come over, and just repeat that. I don't know what exactly they're doing, if they're looking for something. Sometimes they land. Yainer fouls this one off on the third base side, and that's an 0-2 count with 2 outs, nobody on. How are things over there for you, by the way? Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's going to be it for the Astros in the 7th. Nothing doing. So Astros have a couple of big innings in the 2nd and the 3rd, but they start abandoning runners on base and missing the ball. This inning is nothing doing. Dodd has come in and kind of shut them down the past couple of innings. Yeah, I like that the Astros had such big innings to knock out the starting pitcher in the 2nd and the 3rd, but I don't like that we have 3 straight innings of nothing. I'm sorry, 4 straight innings of nothing. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Astros up 6-1. Yeah, Prodigy. Yes, they eat a lot of insects, especially mosquitoes. That's right. I guess that's what they're looking for. But spiders also eat a lot of insects, and that's good, and they're supposed to be good to have around. I actually have a couple in my room in here. They're not very big, so they don't bother me. But I can't stand spiders. Now, the jumping spiders, I like the jumping spiders. I think they're super cute. I have no problem at all with the jumping spiders, and sometimes they're very playful. And I had a jumping spider that got into my van one day, and I got in the van, and it was sitting right on my dash looking at me, and it jumped onto my steering wheel, and I took out my camera, and I started to record it, and then it actually jumped onto my arm, and it was just kind of crawling around, and then jumped on the door, and then back on. It was playing with me, and I think that that's very cute, but that's the only spider that I really like and can easily tolerate. The other spiders, the big spiders, there's a spider here in the countryside. They make their webs outside, outdoors, and they are black and yellow and very scary looking. They're not supposed to be dangerous to humans, and they don't like being around us so much. They tend to stay away from the house, but I don't like them. I like the praying mantises. I love praying mantises. I don't know if any of you have heard me tell this story before, but I had a praying mantis leave an egg sac inside my Genkan. A Genkan is like an entryway between the outside and the inside of the house. I have a chair in there, and it put an egg sac underneath that chair. And whenever they hatched, I had several dozen praying mantises, baby praying mantises, very tiny, suddenly just start crawling out of there. I was sitting in the chair at the time, and they started crawling on my arm. It was one of the coolest things I've ever experienced in my life. Here's the 1-0 pitch, high and outside. But many of those praying mantises just kind of got used to me, and they kept hanging around the house, and I could see them grow up. I saw them when they were little, and then when they were like a little bigger, and then a little bigger, and they've hung around my house. I'm very happy to see them because they eat those insects too. And they've taken out some of the spiders, by the way. 2 balls and 1 strike to Matt Olson. First batter for Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown is in the game for the 7th. Fouled off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 63% of you said that we should have rested Hunter Brown this inning. 31% say pitch him. And 5% say recall Chaz. I knew I'd get some Chaz votes. Grounded off, foul down the third base line. The count remains 2-2 to Olson. But yeah, text pad. I don't know if you got it, but I was wondering if things were all right there. How's the climate over there and the weather where you're at? Here's the pitch. Sweet Richard, I'm gonna slightly ignore that comment, but trust me, I have no issues. I have a lot better luck here in East Asia than I do in the U.S. That's for sure. So a little bit hotter than it is, and it falls for a single in the left field. So the Braves have a leadoff base runner here in the 7th inning. Ronald Acuna Jr. comes up. Here comes the next pitch. Up and in. First pitch to Acuna is a ball. Yeah, and there are also some really big hornets here. You probably heard about the infamous hornets in Japan. They are aggressive and not good. But they're not a problem around here, thankfully. The hornets are not a problem. I see them sometimes, but I have so many dragonflies. I think that they keep them at bay. Just like you were saying, Ken. A Sydney funnel web. That sounds scary. 1-1, and it's now 1-2 with the foul ball. Yeah, they say that dragonflies are really lucky, and then having them land on you is really lucky, and I would say more and more since I've been living out here. It happens more and more often. And they become very playful with me too. They'll fly up to me, and then they'll fly back. When I reach up, they'll fly back and then fly back to me again. That's outside in the dirt, 2 and 2. One day I was out there trimming. I had on my yellow glasses, my protective glasses. I had my earphones in. You know, I had on my protective leggings. I was actively cutting the grass, you know. It was pretty loud and everything. But then suddenly a big dragonfly just landed on the bill of my hat. And I thought, everything seemed so loud and chaotic, and it just came and landed on my hat. I walked all the way back to my house and took a picture, and it never got off my hat. It just stayed there. Pretty funny. This is grounded to the right side. The only play is going to be at first base. Urias has to hustle to get it. But that's 1 out. Runner goes to second, so Olsen makes it to base number 2. 1 down on the fielder's choice. Good play by Urias to get that one. JT TextPad says dragonflies landing on you means good luck. All I get are mosquitoes, but no matter where I go, local cats and dogs find me and comfort me. It has 2 seasons, hot and wet. Yeah, hot and wet. PI Philippines. Is that right? Hot and wet makes sense. 1-0 is the count to Drake Baldwin, who is at the plate. He takes that pitch outside for ball 2. 2-0. 2-0. I want to get a quick update on the Tigers game. It looks like the Tigers still have the ball. No, they gave up the ball, I think. Baldwin steps out of the box for a moment. LSU interception. Look at that. Nice. Here's the pitch. 94 on the outside edge. The count is 2-1 to Drake Baldwin. 0 for 2 today. Batting .265 for the year. 98 pitches for Hunter Brown. 1 out this inning. Runner on second. Here comes the next toss. Number 99. Whoo, swing and a miss. 95 miles an hour. 2-2. Here comes the even count. 2-2. Olsen tags and heads to third, no problem. The throw comes in, but it's not there in time, as expected. Sanchez is not Bo Jackson. Can't make that throw. 2 down, runner on third. Ozzie Albies comes to the plate. Diaz is going to come out to the plate and have a little chit-chat, give him a break. Hunter Brown at exactly 100 pitches now. Yeah, Prodigy, we've got the infamous Japanese Hornets. And those suckers are territorial. It's funny, they come to my house and they do stuff at my house. And when I am around them, they buzz me. Sometimes try to land on me and sting me. They have stung me a couple of times, but they don't bother me too much. I'm lucky like that. I'm not allergic to any of those things, and I'm not really bothered by the sting, and they don't really irritate my skin or anything. So I just I'll either swat them away or crush them if they keep bothering me. But usually I just swat them away. I don't even kill them. I'm a nice guy. I don't try killing them. Now, if they start building a nest on my house, then the battle is on. But they often buzz me and like they're trying to warn me to go away. I'm like, I'm not going away. It's my house. What do you think I'm going to do? You think I'm going to leave my house and let you have it? I don't think so. 1 ball, 1 strike to Albies. Yeah, the Hornets think they own the place. But I remind them very quickly that they do not. I've killed a few, but I try not to. I don't like killing. Even if I don't really like the bugs. Now, there are certain types of bugs that should be kill on sight, you know. there are some centipedes, some millipedes, or whatever you want to call them. Those things can sting. They are aggressive. And they are useless. It's just a useless creature. But you can't crush them because they let off these pheromones or something. And then it will attract others. So whenever you see one, you have to kind of stun it with some spray, or you have to try to catch it and then take it far away from your house before you kill it. Otherwise, if you crush it or something like that, it can attract others. It's crazy. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Count remains 2-2. TextPad says right now it's hot and wet season, but we're near the coast, so very cool. That's nice. That's good. When I went to Thailand, I went during the rainy season, primarily because I prefer the rain in those areas. That's in the dirt. Stopped by Yiner, saves a run. Full count though. 106 pitches for Brown. This next will be hits 107th. Trying to get this last out. This is probably going to be his last batter, I would guess. But yeah, Ken says the Scorpions, we have an arrangement. They stay outside. It's live and let live, but on the inside, bye-bye. That's how I am with the millipedes here in Japan. I haven't seen one in my house, and everyone says I'm really lucky about that. But I do take some precautions to help keep them away. But that's my rule with those suckers. If I see them in the house, they are dead. They are dead. Here comes the full count pitch, the 3-2. Whoa, up high. Hunter Brown finally walks somebody. Hunter Brown's really not up. He's not very happy. Man, who's he yelling at? He's really complaining right now about not getting that out, and the spot is going to go ahead and come out and get him. Enio de los Santos comes out of the bullpen for the Astros. Hunter Brown was saying a whole bunch of choice words towards home plate, but I don't know if he was talking to Diaz or the umpire or what, but he couldn't have been complaining to the umpire because that ball was clearly above the zone. I don't know exactly what was going on with Brown right there. He's obviously upset about not getting that final out, but I don't know why. He was just going on and on and on and on. Don't get it. Well, the Tigers get the interception. They get the interception against Florida, but all they can manage to do is kick a field goal before halftime. You know, that's very disappointing on the offense right now for the Tigers because they had the ball inside Florida's 50. They didn't get anything from it. And then Florida gets the ball back. LSU intercepts it inside the Florida 50. And all they get is a field goal. So the Tigers are getting opportunities to score, and they only have one touchdown. One touchdown and 2 field goals. 13-10 at halftime. Let's take a look at some of these other scores. Texas Tech destroying Oregon State. Miami destroying Florida 42-12. Ohio State now has put some more points on the board in the third, 23-9 over Ohio. Illinois destroying Western Michigan 23-0. Hey, look at that. Ole Miss is now 3 points over Arkansas. 1 field goal ahead of Arkansas. That's nice. Texas A&M leading Notre Dame 28-24, but Notre Dame has the ball on their own 35-yard line. Vanderbilt ahead of South Carolina. Look at that, 14-7 at halftime. That's nice. I guess. South Carolina ranked number 11. I like to see the challenge for the SEC teams. Penn State destroyed Villanova. Yeah, we know all those scores. Let's get back to the game. De Los Santos on the mound. He's going to be facing Ha-Sung Kim. First pitch, 96 in the top of the zone. Fouled off. Go gadget stinger. That's right. TextPat says, yeah, Philippines and Davao. Okay. Coincidentally, my brother just put together a short video of dragonflies in his backyard. Very cool. Found his Rumble channel. Words of Iron. Oh, found on his Rumble channel. Pretty cool. I can't live in places like that, though. I'm not interested in tropical or subtropical climates. I lived in Louisiana for too long. I can't stand the heat and humidity. Really can't stand it. Japan, where I'm at, really only has a couple of months of hot, humid weather, July and August. But even that's doable, especially where I live at the base of this mountain. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kim. Here comes the plate from De Los Santos. Outside and low, 2-2. Kim didn't really like one of those pitches, but you know, it's been going both ways today. This umpire has been a little inconsistent with some of his calls, but it is what it is. Here's 6-2. The inning continues. Hunter Brown has his second earned run. Runners at first and second for the Braves with 2 outs. Fastball right down the middle. Yeah, he's still ticked off about it. Prodigy says, lucky it wasn't Framber Valdez instead of Hunter Brown. First pitch delivered to Michael Harris is in there for strike 1. 0-1 is the count with runners on first and second. Come on now, shut it down, Santos, De Los Santos. Strike 2. Nice. One more strike. Here's the toss. Just a little high on that fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, bro. Let's shut it down, baby. Shut it down. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. 2-2. Yeah, Prodigy. I missed the Cottonmouths, the Rattlers, and the Gators. But, you know, Rattlers weren't really an issue in Louisiana. It was moccasins, copperheads. Those are the main things to look out for. Swing and a miss. 96 above the zone. De Los Santos gives up. Hunter Brown is charged with the run. And then he gets a strikeout. So no more damage done, thankfully. 6-2. The Astros lead going into the top of the 8th. 10 hits for the Stros, 5 for the Braves. Let's take a look at the Lobsters. Waiting for it to update on the screen. Holy cow. Yeah. 17-5. There we go. The lobster count for the Braves is quite low, but then again, they haven't had many opportunities. However, the few opportunities that they've had, they've managed to get 2 runs. Whoa. So you could say that the problem for the Braves right now is not leaving guys on base. It's getting guys on base and then scoring them. They've got a combination problem. The Astros' efficiency in the first few innings, getting runners home, was phenomenal. But after that, they have just reverted back to their usual get some on, strand everybody way of doing things. Ken says, I do a lot of bass fishing. We're filthy with cottonmouths. Yeah, I can't stand those suckers. You know, he definitely needs some more runs. We got 2 more innings of hitting to do. We should have some more runs. Absolutely, we should. But here, the main, I think it's called a mamushi. Yeah, that's right, the mamushi. It's a pit viper. That's the main snake you want to look out for in Japan. Well, right off the bat, Zach Cole comes to the plate and grounds out faster than I can show it. 1 away. At least he didn't strike out that time. Jeremy Pena comes to the plate. Dodd is still on the mound for the Braves. Grounded foul down the third baseline. That's strike 1 against Pena. Yep. Jeffrey Allen says 13 games left. That's right. Swing and a miss. The 87-mile-per-hour cutter. 0-2 is the count to Pena. 1 more against Atlanta. 3 against Texas. 3 against Seattle. 3 against Oakland. And 3 against LA. Angels, that is. By the way, they are not Oakland, Jeffrey. You probably know that, though. The Athletics, they are not Oakland. They are just the Athletics. They're very picky about that. Anytime they're called Oakland or Las Vegas, they always say it's just the Athletics. They've been complaining about that nonstop. That's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Pena. Come on, bro. Let's see what you can do. Go, 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 bro. Here's the toss. He fouls it off on the right side into the crowd. Count remains 2-2. Yes, TextPat, you're right. They do have that in Japan, and that is really good. Here's the pitch. This is grounded to shortstop. He throws it to first base and gets Pena for out number 2. Alvarez comes to the plate with 2 down in the 8th. The Astros not doing too much right now, still. I've got some stones here that are pretty nice. They're very small stones, and basically they absorb humidity and moisture. And when it's very hot, they release all of it, and it's very easy for it to be a deterrent and a dehumidifier. So they're mainly for putting underneath your house, and they really cause bugs to die. Jordan hits that one foul on the left side. Is it playable? The pitcher made a beeline for that one, and he ran into his catcher, and the catcher was like, "Hey, dude, back off!" But that floats over the bullpen. Look at this. Astros 30-plus home run season is Jordan with 4, Bagwell with 9, Berkman with 5, Glenn Davis with 3. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Alvarez. Swing and a miss. Man, what are you doing swinging at that garbage? Jordan has been listening to the batting coaches since he's been back. Jordan comes back with the team, goes on a tear, and as he spends time with the Astros batting coaches, he starts getting worse. Maybe we should hand out some earplugs to the Astros so that whenever they talk to the batting coaches, they can just plug their ears. I don't know. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. Actually, I think that what the problem is opposite. I think that the Astros hitting coaches and the coaches have not installed and held they haven't installed a batting system and held the Astros accountable to it. That's why they're so consistently inconsistent. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 8th. Your daddy at the plate. Here's the toss. In the dirt. 3-2. Looks like we got Magnum PI is fully warmed up in the bullpen. He's ready to go for the bottom of the 8th. Brian King. Here's the toss. In the dirt. Ball 4. Jordan gets a walk. Good for you, sir. Good for you. He did something today. He did something. TextPad says Okinawa, the habu, was the feared cave-dwelling snake never encountered in any in Iwakuni region. Lots of rock apes to deal with though. Yeah, you know, there are other things to be concerned about around here. In this area where I'm at, I don't have any monkeys, and I know that monkeys aren't directly dangerous. They can be annoying and cause some problems. Correa is at the plate. 1-0 is the count after that first pitch. Jordan on first base. Jordan is stealing second. He's called out. Okay. So they try to get Jordan to steal. And he gets thrown out, not surprisingly. And that's going to be it for the 8th inning. Correa will be back up in the 9th as the leadoff batter. We go into the bottom of the 8th. Astros up 6-2. I'm going to take a look at the scoreboard, see if the Tigers game should be back in play in the 3rd quarter. Still in halftime, it says. They haven't started yet. You know, I might actually be able to watch the last part of this game. The Tigers and the Gators, because they haven't started the 3rd quarter yet. Let's take a look at the MLB scores. See if anything is going on here. Anything of note. Once again, a little bit of a struggle here between the Brewers and the Cardinals. Padres beating up on the Rockies. Hey, the Giants beating up on the Draft Dodgers. That's nice. Mariners won't start, but for a few more minutes. 10:40 for me. This game starts in 2 minutes. So hopefully the Submariners will go down to the Angels today. NCAA scores. Anything of note? Ohio State still ahead 23-9. Illinois still up. Arkansas down by 10 now. That's nice. Still halftime with Texas A&M up over Notre Dame, 28-24. Vanderbilt up by a touchdown over South Carolina at halftime. Utah put a field goal on the board. Enio de los Santos still on the mound, actually. That's interesting. They warmed up Brian King and then kept de los Santos in the game. 1-0 is the count to Marcell Ozuna. Here's the pitch. Low and outside. That might be saving King for the 9th. If de los Santos can get through this inning. I mean, he had less than 10 pitches last inning, so if he can get through this inning, then we might see Brian King come up in the 9th. That pitch is on the outside edge. Strike 1. 2-1 is the count. Hey, Texas Dave. You're in one H-Town. I'm in another. I'm in Japan's H-Town. Here's the toss. Swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour on that fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 pitch. De Los Santos looking for the call. He's got what he wants. Here comes the pitch. Low and outside. Full count. Hey, Ken, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that. I think that's actually the first super chat of the day. Swing and a miss, 97. 97 at the top of the zone. De Los Santos strikes him out for out number 1. Nice pitch. Look at this replay right there. Swing and a miss, 97. Good. Heat. Nacho Alvarez comes to the plate. Holy crap. Stan with the $99.99 super chat. That is the biggest super chat I've ever received, I think. That is absolutely amazing. Stan says, take care of yourself and your house. Thanks for the game. Go Stros. That is very, very generous, Stan. Thank you so much. 96 miles an hour. Stan the man with this super chat plan. Alvarez steps out of the plate. Let's take a little break. And I'm going to say to Stan the man with the super chat plan, thank you so much. Go Stros and arigato gozaimasu. Bless you so much for that. That's really deeply appreciated. That's hit up the middle, but right to Rios. Out number 2 as he casually tosses it over to Walker at first base. Glenn, quietly wandering, says, late in the game to you, Mr. B. Glenn, by the way, I've mentioned this before, but quietly wandering in the chat is a friend of mine in Australia. He's been here several times. He's been a really big help to me. And he's going to be visiting here shortly. Hopefully we can get some stuff done here at the house, and that super chat from Stan is going to help a lot. And Prodigy with the $10 super chat, thank you so much. 0-1 is the count. Profar fouls off the first pitch. 2 outs, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 8th. De Los Santos on the mound. Here's the toss. Ooh, that's crushed out to right field, but foul. 0-2 is the count. Prodigy, thank you so much. Prodigy, a regular supporter and member to the channel. Thank you so much for that $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from De Los Santos. A little high and outside, ball 1. You guys are awesome. It has been so quiet. I mean, the Astros scored early, and it's been quiet for a while. And I appreciate you all showing the support and the positivity, sharing that with me. Wow, that's ripped hard. It's going to be fair. It landed on the chalk line into the corner. It bounces into the crowd, actually. I'm surprised that got into the crowd. Ground rule double. 2 outs, runner on second for De Los Santos. And that's going to be it. Matt Olson, the lefty, is due up. And they're not going to let De Los Santos pitch to him. He just got torched by one lefty. He's not going to let him pitch to another one. I think Brian King will be out. Lefty on lefty action coming up. Magnum PI is in the game, guys and gals. Let's see here. Brian King. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Thank you again. All of the super chats just now. It's greatly appreciated. Ken Stark, Stan Sapp, and Sarcastic Prodigy, all of you so much You're absolutely wonderful. Thank you. You know, I have been dealing with consistent cough, and I don't know if it's because of. I don't know exactly what's causing it, but it's one of those things that can appear to be worrisome when the doctors have told you that you have some shadows in your lungs. Now, the good thing is that they say that it appears to be metastasis from my tumor, my kidney tumor. But they've never said it definitely is cancer in your lungs. They've never said that. They just said that there are some light shadows that appear to be metastasis, but this has been going on for several years, so it's been just kind of like the same. It hasn't really gotten worse, but I have had a consistent cough now for like more than 2 months. And if you notice, sometimes I mute the microphone and you'll see me do this. It's because I'm coughing really hard and trying to clear all of that out. And it seems, it appears kind of worrisome, right? But the good news is that a couple of days ago I bought some cough medicine, some really strong cough medicine over the counter. It's a combination decongestant and cough suppressant. And both my congestion and my cough have gone down a lot, so that's a good sign. That means that, if it were an irritation problem with metastasis, then that wouldn't be helpful. So, it's funny how when I get the super chats, it makes me think about how grateful I am about other things too, and that's nice. Magnum PI comes in with a nice pitch on the outside edge, but it's called ball 2. 2-1 is the count. Profar runs to third base. No throw. They just let him go. Here's the next pitch from Brian King. That's a little low and outside. 3-1 is the count. Rusty Gamer, thank you so much, sir. Another $10 super chat. Mr. Magnum PI does his job and shuts it down. Nothing doing for the Braves in the bottom of the 8th. We go into the top of the 9th. The Astros up 6-2. Rusty Gamer. If your name is Rusty, that would be the only thing rusty about you, sir. Thank you so very much for the well-oiled donation, the well-oiled super chat. Much appreciated. I thank you so much about that. Me too, Ken. Ken says, I love it when the chat gets so colorful. Yeah, and actually, the way I have my chat set up is that various levels of donation have different colors. So the more, I guess you could say, the bolder colors come out with the higher donations. 1 second. Clear a little bit of that out of my throat. Jeffrey wants to know, will it be Go Tigers after the Astros game, or are you going off air? Well, if I had a way right now to watch the game, I would definitely switch over to that and check it out. But right now I don't have a paid subscription for the Tigers. I don't have a paid subscription for the NCAA right now. So I have to rely on YouTube. I just do a search for LSU Florida on YouTube. Right now it looks like they pulled off all of the live streams. It's just the play-by-plays and the reactions. If you look right now, it appears to be 13-10 still. Unless this is behind. Might be behind. Reliving those good times. Looks like we got a new pitcher on the mound. Tyler Kinley. And he's facing Carlos Correa. Here's the toss. Low and outside on the slider. Let me update this pitcher. Tyler Kinley. Here comes the next pitch, the 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. Good take by Correa. Don't swing at the garbage. Don't go fishing. Oh, your name is Rusty. Okay, I kind of thought it might be. Two balls and one strike with that delivery. Here's the next pitch to Correa. Acuna puts it away. Out number 1. Ramon Urias is due up next, followed by Buddy Sanchez. Jesus Sanchez. You know, that these super chats came in right on time because, you know, I finally decided yesterday I needed to upgrade my microphone. And I have a little bit of a balance on my credit card, and I was like, you know what? I need to go ahead and commit to making the most I can out of the channel to make the experience better. The audio is the most important thing. 1-0 is the count to Urias. Here's the pitch. Low and outside, ball 2. Whenever you're making a video or you're making a movie or a TV show or doing a live stream, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, the most important thing is the audio. It's more important than the video. Here's the 2-0 pitch. 87 in the top of the zone, hit high in the air over to right field. Acuna calls for it, and he puts it away. Albies almost runs into him. No, Acuna almost runs into him. Albies makes the play. Sanchez comes to the plate. 2 outs, nobody on. Astros have been really quiet. Went crazy in the second and the third. Put a lot of guys on base. A couple of innings later, stranded all of them. And since then, they have been cooled off. They have not even been able to get hits. Nothing doing the past several innings. 87 miles an hour. The Braves relievers have completely shut down the Astros today. The 4th through the 8th, nothing. And here in the 9th, the first 2 batters have been retired. Sanchez is at the plate with 1 ball, no strikes. Yeah, Daryl, even if it's a homer, I mean, we got a right-hander on the mound. He could hit a homer right here and give us that extra run. Nope. Check swing on the inside. He holds up 2-0. You're rusty at video games? I'm rusty at video games I haven't played in a long time. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Big swing by Sanchez, but he catches nothing but air. 2-1. Dofu app? Is that how you watch the NCAA games? Here comes the 2-0 pitch. A little inside, 3-0. I'm sorry, 3-1. Forgot about that swing and a miss. I never made myself another cup of coffee, but now's a good time to do that, I think. Here comes the 3-1 to Sanchez. And he hits that one straight up in the air. Foul territory on the first base side, and he puts it away, no problem. That's out number 3. So the Astros once again do nothing. The Astros have put up nothing for 6 straight innings. So this is the thing, though. You know, is it surprising at all to see the Astros go crazy in the second and the third, score 6 runs, and then do absolutely nothing after that? Is it surprising? Not in the least. Not in the least. Brendan says all sports free on Dofu, but a lot of ads. If I'm just watching the game, maybe it doesn't bother me too much, Brendan, but if I'm going to do a live stream, then I definitely can't have the ads. Of course, right now I'm not doing any LSU live streams, but I am going to let you all know right now for sure 2 things. First of all, I've got the final winners for the contest, and I'm going to be sending out a few extra postcards because several of you tied, and I can't just, I mean, I could draw out of a hat, but I don't think that's very fair, and it doesn't really cost me much extra to send out a couple of extra postcards. So for those of you who tied for like second place on the contest, I'm going to pick up some extra postcards, and all of you who tied will get a postcard. The person who won first place, you will win the package, and I will be making a video very soon. What I plan to do is to announce those winners during one of the live streams. That's kind of, I think that's kind of best. That way everybody can be listening in. Most of you can be listening in and see the results of the contest and hear the winner. And then I will be mailing those things out. So I just wanted to let you know. That's the first thing. The second thing that I wanted to tell you is I am going to go ahead and try doing the Houston Texans games. One of the subscribers said something that I think makes sense. He said, just give it a try. You know, next game where the Astros aren't playing, give it a try. So that's what I'm going to do. The Texans only play once a week, and I found out a couple of things. Number one, it's not expensive to get the NFL games in Japan. It's also not expensive to get the NBA games, the Rockets games. So I can get all of the Texans games. Nothing is out of market for me. And I can get all of the Rockets games. Nothing is out of market for me. There's no blackout here. Brian King is on the mound facing Ronald Acuna Jr. 1-1 is the count. Here's the pitch. Below the zone. Did he swing? They say no swing. 2-1. So, with that knowledge, I just wanted to let you know that I am going to be trying out doing the play-by-play and reaction videos for the Texans games and then the Rockets games, because this will give me something to do during the baseball off-season instead of just trying to make a ton of off-season Astros videos, because actually it's more work for me. It's a lot more work for me to produce videos and put those out and edit those and do all of that than it is to do live streams. The live streams requires commitment and discipline. That's a check swing, but he doesn't go. Full count. Full count to Acuna. Nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. Magnum PI on the mound. Here's the pitch. I was right. Off of his foot. Rolls over to Correa. Count stays full. So, just to let you know, I'm going to do the trial run and see how it goes with the Texans games and the Rockets games, because it could be that that's what I do in the off season, and then whenever the Astros kick it back in next year, we go right back into baseball. Swing and a miss. Magnum PI pulls out the gun, gets the out. Nice. 93 mile per hour sinker below the zone. 2 outs away from the Astros taking game 2. Remember what we talked about before. Many of you said this. The Astros, at the very least, need to win this series. They really need to win this series, and we're about to do it right now. And we have an opportunity for a sweep tomorrow. Fouled off. 0-1 is the count. Drake Baldwin at the plate. Lefty on lefty crime going on right now. Bounced to Urias, who goes to first base. 2 away. 1 more out. Ozzy Albies comes to the plate. Shortest guy on the Braves roster, I would imagine. Yeah, you're right, Jeffrey. Absolutely. Jeffrey says a lot of the Astros-Texans games overlap. That's true. Because, you know, the Texans only have 1 game a week. And at this time of the year, there's no way I can prioritize those over the Astros. So, I don't know if I've said this before, but I'll say it now, just in case I haven't said it. But I will always prioritize the Astros games over everything else. No matter what else I'm doing, the Astros games take priority. Here's the pitch. High and outside. So I will never opt to do a Texans game instead of an Astros game. Just to let you know, for those of you who are wondering about that. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. But now, Jeffrey, you did say a lot of the Texans and Astros games overlap, but it's just a few, really. It's just a few towards the end of the season when the Astros are playing on the West Coast, and that's it. Now, playoffs, that's different, but I don't think there should be much overlap. Maybe those playoff games won't be too late, but we'll see. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Albies. Just need 1 strike. Fouls it off. He's fighting. Yeah, the bad thing, you mentioned Monday Night Football. Yeah, Monday Night Football can overlap if the Astros have a game. Unless it's an afternoon game. Oof. He fouled that one off his leg and went down. Albies goes down to the ground and he's checking his leg. Let's see where that hits him. Oof. That looked violent. That was a sharp foul ball. Man, that ball changed directions fast. Got him in the side of the leg, looks like. He's back up, looking all right. Okay, he's got a smile on his face. It's good. It's all good. Yeah, ouch indeed, Daryl. That's the proper word. Ouch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Come on, Magnum PI. Ground ball to Pena. He scoops it up. Fires the first. And that's it. Astros win 6-2. How about that? We've won the series against the Braves in Atlanta. The Astros had put up 17 runs in 2 games against the Braves. Game 3 tomorrow is going to be much, much earlier. For those of you who do not know, tomorrow's game will be much earlier. I don't know where it's going to be in your local time, but for me, it's going to be right around, I don't know, 3 in the morning or something like that, 2 or 3. We'll see. But I will be here for Game 3. Let's take a quick look at the wrap-up. As always, let's do a post-game. Take a look at the scoring summary. Then I want to go check out that LSU game, see what's going on. Hey, LSU is up by 10 points, 20-10. Nice. They just scored a touchdown, apparently. Extra point good. That's nice to see. They're starting to pull away a little bit in the third. I want to get to that game in just a minute. But first, let's get to our Astros scoring summary. Whoops. What in the world is going on here? There we go. Signing out from Philippines. Hey, arigato tomodachi. Thanks to you too, my friend. Thank you for being here, and have a good day today. Oh, unless you got a pick 6. That's awesome, Michael. Yeah, it makes sense. The defense is locked down this year. Defense is going to have to come through to help out the Tigers right now. The offense just looks so-so at the moment to me. Okay, yeah, the game in Houston is around 12:35. Yeah, so that means 2:35 for me. If that's correct, then it's 2:35 for me. But let's pull up today's game real fast. Hunter Brown gets the win. 6.2 innings of work, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 strikeouts only, and 1 walk. He just had a lot of ground outs and flyouts today. Hunter Brown with a nice solid game. He was a little ticked off that he couldn't finish the 7th, but it is what it is. Elder gets the loss. 4.1 innings, 10 hits he gave up to the Stros in just 4.1 innings. 6 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and 3 walks. See, strikeouts don't matter. What matters is getting the outs and limiting the damage. In the top of the second, Diaz single to center field, scoring Walker. Pena doubled to left, scoring Diaz and Myers. It was 3-0 Astros in the second. In the third inning, Sanchez grounded into a fielder's choice, scoring Correa. Walker homered to center, scoring Sanchez. 6-0 Astros in the third. And that's all of the Astros runs in the second and the third. In the fourth, the bottom of the fourth, Olsen homered to right off of Brown, making it 6-1. And Hyesung Kim singled to center field in the seventh, the bottom of the seventh, scoring Olsen. 6-2, and that was off of De Los Santos, but that was an earned run for Brown because Brown had a couple of guys on base. But those were the only runs given up by the Astros today. Really, technically, you could say, yes, 2 runs given up by Brown. Yes, but he got the assist from De Los Santos. If you look at the performance by the pitchers today over here on the left side, 6.2 innings pitched. Like I said, Brown went up to 800. I already listed his stats, but he had 108 pitches today. 67 of those were strikes. Not stellar in the strike zone today, but he got a lot of swings and a lot of soft contact. Minus the home run, everything else was pretty good. He just put a curveball over the plate, was too flat, and he crushed it for the home run. De Los Santos went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. King came in and was solid for 1.1 innings, not a single hit, not a single walk, no earned runs, 1 strikeout, Magnum PI for the win. And that's the score for the Astros today. The Astros up to 81-68 with their record today. 81 wins, 68 losses. If we take a look at tomorrow's game, let's do a quick preview for tomorrow's game, if you don't mind. Yeah, Manuel, no problem. I always do the update for the game unless the Astros get destroyed and don't score any runs, because I don't want to sit here and just, oh, the Braves scored, and they scored again, and they scored again, and they scored again, and they scored again, and the Astros didn't score anything. If the score is like 7-1, you know, and the Astros lose, I will tell you how the Astros scored, but I'm not going to give you a recap of all of the things that they gave up. But I will let you know how the pitchers did. I will always let you know that. But if you have any questions, if you ever have any questions about the game and you missed it, Manuel, or anybody else, just let me know at the end of the game when I'm doing the recap. I'm happy to answer those questions for you. But let's scroll down here. We're going to take a look at the preview for tomorrow's games. The Astros have already won this series, but we have a chance to sweep. Just like Daryl says, don't forget your brooms tomorrow. Go Astros. This game for me is 2:35 in the morning, and you can kind of see it right there. Let me move that down just a little bit. There we go. It's on the MLB Network. 2:35. Fromber is on the mound tomorrow for the Astros, and I know that, you know, it's Fromber. I know that it's Fromber, but considering how we're going up against Joey Wentz and we're playing the Braves, I think that the Astros are a shoo-in tomorrow to sweep this series. We'll take this series tomorrow 100% for sure. 100%. That's my prediction. How many runs will we score? I don't know, but I wanted the Astros to score 30 runs in this series. Right now we have 17. That means they need 13 more runs. So Astros bats, are you listening to me? 13 more runs tomorrow. 13. Lucky number 13. We need the Baker's dozen in Game 3 to get to 30 runs. Absolutely. But let's take one quick look at the scores. I think we've got some games starting around the league. The Mariners should be started by now. The Submariners. Where are they? Let me move this over. There we go. I just passed all of that. It's 2-2 in the second. The Angels and the Mariners are scoring early. Take a look at the game cast right quick. Let's see what's going on. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Who's batting? Oh, the Angels are batting. Ooh, Trout is at the plate. Trout is at the plate with 2 strikes and runners on the corners. I wonder if I can, is this a free game of the day? That'd be awesome if it was a free game of the day. I wouldn't mind checking out some of this. What's going on right now? Is it a free game of the day? No, it is not. Unfortunately, I can only listen to the radio. But let's go back to the... Takes a ball there. If you guys don't mind hanging out for a second, I want to see what happens here, because the Angels have runners on the corners with Mike Trout at the plate. 2 outs in the second inning. Game is tied 2-2. A big hit here, man. How about a Trout homer? Come on, Trout. Get that homer, baby. Do us a solid. Ah, he struck out. He struck out. But, you know, the thing is, the Submariners have Wu on the mound, right? Brian Wu. And they've already put 2 runs on him. So, maybe they light him up today. We'll see. But it's the middle of the second. The Mariners scored 2 in the first. The Angels came back, got 2, and then left 2 lobsters on. Come on, Angels. Go, Angels. Kick the crap out of those Submariners. And we can take a quick look at the standings and see if those are correct. See, I think this is, yeah, okay, 81 and 68, it's right. So over here on the left side in the AL West, Astros currently up by half a game by over the, you know, man, I can't speak right now. I really needed that second cup of coffee, right? The Astros are up by half a game over the Mariners right now and 2 games over the Strangers. Even though the Rangers won, the Astros were able to bump that back up from 1.5 to a 2-game lead. And they were tied with the Mariners. If the Angels are able to manage a win against the Submariners today, we will retake sole possession of first place. And that would be a really nice result. We would be up by 1 game. 1 game. What a tight race, right? It's a tight race going on right now. Yep. Jeffrey says, of the latest 10 no-hitters, 4 were the Astros. Wow. Prodigy says, the South Oklahoma Vigilantes got lucky today. They should have lost to the Mets. You're right. Totally ridiculous how their sub 220 hitters keep getting hits. You're right, man. You've mentioned that before, and that is a really good point. That's really crazy. I don't understand how they keep winning against teams they should be losing to. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But anyway, that's it for today, I think. I'm going to jump off of here and try to find a way to enjoy what's remaining of the LSU Tiger game against Florida. But it was a really good day for the Astros. It's been a good series so far. It's hopeful to see them actually producing 2 games in a row. I mean, that's something. I'm disappointed that they didn't do anything for like the last 6 innings of the game, really. Stranding guys on base and not getting on base. But hopefully they got that worked out. If the Astros look solid again tomorrow, then I'll feel much, much better. I'm sure you agree. You'll feel much better about going into the next series against the Strangers and then on into the series against the Mariners. But for now, that's pretty much it. You're right, Daryl. The only thing good to come out of Seattle is their coffee. It's definitely not their politics. If you know, you know. Luke says Fromber redemption game tomorrow. Absolutely. Let's get Fromber back on track. Tomorrow's a no-pressure game. I know that we need to win, but we've got the series, and we're playing a team that he should have no trouble with, so he should be able to perform really well. We'll see. We'll see. But once again, thank you for all the amazing super chats. A special shout out to all of you who donated. Now, some of you have donated offline to my Buy a Coffee link or my PayPal. And I would like to also extend a thank you because people in the chat don't see that. If you donate to me through my PayPal link, it's much appreciated. I get like 97% of that donation, and so it's a much better percentage. But the thing is, you don't get the recognition in the live chat. So I just wanted to make sure that you know that I see that, and thank you very much for that. Thank you so much. So you're not unseen, trust me. I always get around to responding to those and thanking the people that donate, regardless of how they do it. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. See you tomorrow, later tonight for me, for Game 3 Astros and Braves. That's all for now. Go Stros, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow's. All right. Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.